We turn now to a new poll out from The Hill newspaper and America's Natural Gas Alliance, which looks at the hotly contested races that could decide who controls the House after this year's midterm elections. Does this week's poll fare better for Democrats or for Republicans? Well, to answer that question is Bob Cusack. He's the managing editor of The Hill, who joins me to break down what this means for both parties now that we're less than a month out from the midterm elections.
Yeah, big poll, and basically Republicans are doing well. There is a wave. A wave is coming on November 2nd. But right now, it may not be as big as some are predicting. In our races, Republicans are winning in 11 of the 12 races. The other one, they're tied in. But in 7 of them, they're within the margin of error. So Democratic incumbents, ones that came in with President Obama in 2008, some of them are in trouble, but some of them, if they can seize a little momentum this month, they could be back in Congress next year.
Now, how did you choose which 12 races you looked at? Are these races that were won by Democrats for the first time in 2008?
These are pure battleground districts where Republicans a few years ago represented these districts, and now Democrats do, who came in both the waves of 2006 and 2008. In some of these districts, they favored John McCain over President Obama. In other districts, Obama beat McCain. So basically, these are the districts that will decide whether we're talking about Speaker Nancy Pelosi next year or Speaker John Boehner.
Now, I'll tell you something that I'm noticing from talking to both Democrats and Republicans this week, and that is that Republicans are dialing back expectations. They're saying, you know, look, if we win the House, we don't win the House, either way, if we get 20, 30 seats, it's great for us, which is not what they were saying a few weeks ago. It's unclear whether they're just trying to set expectations or whether they really are getting a little more pessimistic about taking back the House. And Democrats seem to be getting more optimistic. They say, look, if we're tied going into this election, we've got a better ground game and we can win some of these races.
Oh, that's right. And Democrats have the money advantage. The campaign committee on the Democratic side has millions more than the Republican counterpart. And we've seen a little bit of the uptick in Obama's poll, not a lot, but Democrats are thinking, okay, we just got to minimize the damage, just retain the House and Senate. If they have one-seat majorities in the House and Senate, Democrats will say that's a victory. Because you're right, earlier this year, Republicans are saying, we're going to win the House. And now they're trying to change those expectations. The bar in the House is who controls the House next year. The winner controls the House, the loser does not. It's as simple as that.
Now, you heard our conversation with Robert Weissman a few moments ago talking about all this money that's coming in from outside groups, particularly Republican outside groups. Are you able to gauge the influence of all this money in your polling?
Well, it is. I mean, you see that the ads definitely have an impact, whether that's coming from a Republican campaign committee, whether it's coming from an outside group. Voters don't know the difference. They see attack ads and they resonate. And the reason why negative politics dominates October right before the election is because it works. So ads do work. Going negative does work. And we're seeing that in some of these polls. But sometimes it can backfire if the ads go too far, if they stretch the truth. Then nonpartisan analysts will come back and call them out on it. But for the most part, these ads do resonate.
Now, take us inside some of this polling. What are you finding when it comes to independents and which way they're breaking?
The amazing thing is that independents who flocked to President Obama, helped him to have a huge win in 2008, are now moving away from him. They are embracing the Republican Party. They're not happy with President Obama. They do not like the health care reform bill. One of the most surprising things in this poll is that not only do a vast majority of independents want the health care law repealed, 1 in 4 Democrats want the health care reform bill repealed. And in one district, half of the Democrats, we're talking about Democrats, want the law repealed. So that shows you that the Republican attacks on the health care law have worked.
And it explains why so few Democrats who voted for health care are actually running on it as a campaign issue. Now, you're going to be doing these polls every week between now and Election Day?
That's right, up all the way until November 2nd. So this is the first of 4, and we'll be looking at different incumbents. Next week, we'll be looking at open seats, and then we'll look at second-term lawmakers, mostly Democrats, but a couple Republicans, and then long-time incumbents who have served in the House and committee chairmen to see if they're going to survive.
A lot of committee chairmen in trouble.
That's right. I mean, Ike Skelton, Armed Service Committee Chairman, he is in trouble. Budget Committee Chairman John Spratt from South Carolina, he's got a race, as does Nick Rahal, who's also a committee chairman from West Virginia.
Got it. Well, Bob Cusack, managing editor of The Hill, we'll have to have you back to talk about it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.